meeting for October 12th. It looks like we have enough for a quorum tonight, so I'll go ahead and move. But before I go to the approval of minutes, I want to make sure I get this in the record. A special thanks for all the work that David Dempster and Wayne Fry did at helping arrange and doing the work at ServFest. David helped make sure all the equipment was there, and then Wayne helped at that event. And then last Monday night was the firehouse and Public Works open house, and we had a table, and we between the two events we did 42 helmets at ServFest and 25.
No, 20, 38, 140, wasn't it? 28 helmets.
28 helmets at the fire hall. So
29.
I want to make sure that both these people are thanked for their work and efforts. Moving on, approval of the minutes of September 14th, 2017.
I move approval of the minutes.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? None. Moving right along. This is a time on our agenda for appearance of interested citizens to talk about items that are not on tonight's agenda. Looking out into the vastness of the council chambers, does not appear to be anybody here tonight. Moving on to council liaison. We have Marlene Parsons here filling in for Kim Freeman.
Yes, thank you. So I was in Europe for a couple weeks, so I did miss out on some things, but I do know that I was at the last meeting, City Council, and there wasn't a lot going on, but we did, we had a public hearing. We talked about the 1%. We've been working on this for a while, and we approved everything but the 1%. We actually took that out of the ordinance. So the landscaping thing is good to go, except for that. We're going to have a work session, a public work session on that soon. And so we will invite, the community to come and weigh in on how we want to proceed with that portion. So other than that, it's been pretty quiet, and I think it's going to continue to be a little quiet through the holidays, but well, we'll cross our fingers on that anyway. And other than, and I wanted to do a big thank you to Mr. Fry here for the soccer field that he did at Country Glen Park. We did have a parks tour in September right before I left, visiting several parks, talking about what the parks fee can do for these parks. But Country Glen was just kind of a beautiful big space, and Wayne made it more than just a beautiful big space because it's being utilized, I think, constantly, and it was a great addition to the city of Keizer. We need more sports fields, and so I want to give a big shout out from the council to you again.
Thank you very much.
Because it looks very nice. Okay, I don't have anything else. Thank you.
Okay, moving on, and we kind of talked about this last month, placement of the walking routes to the school maps. I think you worked with Joe.
I have. I met with Joe Tillman, and he came up with an idea of how we can put maps onto my walking routes to school. It's a really simple process. You use Google Maps. You put in your starting location of whatever street the person lives on, and then you put in the target location of the school. And you click a couple of things, and it produces a link for you. And then you can save that link and move it into an index. I have done that for 4 elementary schools, and I've sent it out to everyone except Marlene today, this afternoon. So you probably haven't seen it yet, but it looks like this. It's a page with a whole bunch of links on it. Each link will take you from whatever street you start at to the school that you're going to. It'll show you a map, it'll show you the route, it'll show you the distance, the time. It'll tell you if it's mostly flat. And so that's a big improvement over just an English English directions, verbiage. It's better than English. It's now a picture. A picture's worth 1,000 words. So I've done that for 4 elementaries, Weddell, Keizer, Forest Ridge, and Cummings. It's real simple to do, and it's real easy to, you just click on the link. You don't have to type the link. You just click on it from this index. So you can do it right now on your phone if you want to.
Now, can we get that on, I think the discussion was that we wanted to at least initially have it stored within the city, and then we would slowly, well, I shouldn't use the word slowly, we'd try to work with each of the schools to see if we could get it on their website. Wasn't that the kind of battle plan?
Yeah, the repository will be with the city,
Okay.
and then the schools can link to the city website to get walking routes to school. I don't know if we can call them safe routes yet.
So you want me to put it on the city website?
Yes, please.
Okay, and I don't know how familiar you are with the website. How do you want to draw their attention to it? Where do you want me to put it? Do you want it under, there is a how do I section on the website? I could put that there, how do I walk safely to school? Or I could put it under our traffic safety boards.
Are you
I'm
the
sure people would look there.
Are you the webmaster?
Well, yeah, I'm
It sounds like that, how do I do would be,
do it there, how do I?
Sure.
yeah.
Okay, and then
What do you think, Marlene?
I do, but these are not safe routes yet, you said? They're just routes?
They're just walking routes.
Just walking routes?
Because Safe Routes is a federal, state program, and, they have to go, and we haven't used the schools, their approval. but,
Okay.
Safe Routes is almost a trade name.
I do, I would just put it right on the page, how do I, maybe a thing that says schools, and then how do I, or
How
something
do I
like
get
that.
to, how do
How do
I
I
get
get
to
to
school?
my school, or a walking routes to school?
Walking routes.
Yeah.
Like you named it is good. If you would all look at the website too and explore it a little bit and see if there's any place else that you think it might be appropriate, you can email me and let me know. But I'll start out with it under how do I.
Okay,
So Debbie, right now, do you have a flyer going across the top for anything?
Yes, several different things.
Oh, you do? Because I was just wondering if, because school just started within the last month, if you could put something,
Okay,
if we could run something up there about, and then the link could be right below it or something.
okay. Actually the ticker, when you click on the words, that's the link.
Oh, perfect, there you go. Okay.
Wayne,
Yes.
these are also biking routes?
No, I did this for walking,
Just walking?
and it's using Google Maps is the tool. It can be done for biking, because biking and walking might be different.
they are different because the routes might be a little,
I brought one up on my phone. I just clicked on whatever link. This is for Forest Ridge. It's got the From Street, the Target School, and you click on the link, and it gives you a map and a route,
yeah.
and tells you it takes you 4 minutes to get there, and it's 0.2 of a mile for this particular route.
Personally, I think this is a good start. Get it on there. We can maybe, I met a lady the other night at the fire hall from the school district who is their safety officer. So I'm going to follow up with her on who would be the best one to contact to work on these. And she'll probably say go to each individual principal, but I think the first one I'll hit up is Martina at Cummings.
Oh, there's one of these schools is Cummings.
Yeah. Any other questions of Wayne? Thank you.
Yeah,
I think
good job,
this is,
Wayne.
this is
Thanks.
really a good thing for this community and kids and parents.
The process is real simple to create these routes. You just, you do a few steps, and you do those same steps for each street. It's real simple to do. And then you save those links and create an index of them. It keeps retired people busy. We need something to do.
Again, thank you very much. Now, update on Keizer bike routes. These were recreational routes, and I've developed them with Ride GPS, about 8 of them so far, either starting here or Cummings Elementary, or the one I developed for the Eclipse ride, those maps. I guess we'd store them similar to that, but not, these are, his routes are a little different. These are recreational and
And we have a space on the website that is for recreation, and there's already our old bike routes, which were a map that we had drawn, you know, in yellow, highlighted roads, and then PDF'd them, and they're posted, so we can add to those.
why don't I send you a couple and we can experiment and make sure we do it right, and then we can, I'll work on that. Probably, I'll send you one maybe by next Monday.
Okay.
I'm going elk hunting the end of next week, so that's where my mind is right now. Okay. Committee member input. I'll start with you, Wayne.
I did a few activities this month. I went to Surf Fest and helped fit helmets. I went
Thank
to
you,
the
thank you.
I went to the Fireman Emergency Safety Festival and fitted helmets. I learned a little bit about House Bill 2017, the transit bill. I'm not sure what it was called. We are in Region 2. Currently, there's 66 projects in Region 2. There's 7 projects in Salem, and there's 0 projects so far in Keizer. So we need to get with the program and see if we could put together a project that will help Keizer with sidewalks, probably, would be our first choice. Sidewalks around Cummings, probably, would be.
Yes.
So that's as far as I've got. I'm still just gathering some information.
What was the House Bill number?
HB 2017,
2017, thank you.
and I believe it's called the Transit Bill,
It's a transportation bill.
Transportation Bill.
Yeah,
And apparently there's
they got a good chunk of money, but
a lot of
other-
money out there, but there's also a lot of people that are developing projects to allocate those funds or utilize those funds.
And most of those funds will be available next fiscal year.
Okay.
So, most of the funds, like the bike tax and a few other things.
Transit money.
But, yeah. Kathy?
Well, sort of related to what Wayne was talking about with the sidewalks, that most of the funds, most of the projects that you heard about are for the next STIP, which goes to 2018, I think. And then there's already working on the 2020 to 24 STIP. So if we wanted to get any projects, it would be long-term projects. But there is some money for planning. ODOT has a TGM program, and there's grant money available. Oh, good. And I think also sidewalks is a good thing to work on, because that covers a lot of different areas. And I think you need to have a sidewalk inventory before you can apply for money to build sidewalks. So that's where the TGM money, I think, would apply to the planning. And then there's the Safe Routes to School funds, and there's some other bicycle and ped funds that might be available for sidewalks. And sidewalks help people get to bus stops. They help people get to school. They're much more safe than walking on the side of the road. So I think, that's something that's doable. It's not too expensive. There's money available, and I think it makes a big difference in the safety of our town. And related to that, came across an article this week about pedestrian deaths, and traffic fatalities in the United States rose 5.6% last year, the biggest spikes in pedestrian and motorcycles deaths. And that's the highest number since 2007, a 2.6% increase from the previous year. Traffic deaths have been increasing since late 2014 as gas prices have fallen and people started driving. Pedestrian deaths last year hit their highest level since 1990, with almost 6,000 people killed. It's a 9% increase from the previous year. Motorcyclist deaths were up 5.1%, bicycles only 1.3%, thank goodness, but still the highest number ever since 1991. And it says that deaths related to distracted and drowsy driving declined, which I thought was interesting, because I thought that was one of the biggest problems. But it says those declines were more than offset by other dangerous behaviors, including speeding, alcohol impairment, and not wearing seat belts. So the large increases in fatalities of 2015 and 2016 eliminated more than a third of the progress over the past decade in reducing the number of people killed on the roads each year. So it really is a serious problem, and I think, you know, this committee is an important one to keep that in mind and focused on how we can make our community safer for pedestrians and, looks like, motorcyclists and bicyclists. That's it.
David?
Yeah. Public Works safety, fire department safety event. It was kind of, I always, you know, that you never know how many people are going to show up. Last year, we sold, or gave away, sold, whatever you call it, about I think it was like 18, and this year was almost, it was 28. I gave one away. A family came up with 5 kids. I don't know how you deal with 5 kids. It's just always amazing.
That's
And
my
they
mom.
were digging through the kids' lunch money to find, you know,
Yeah.
getting enough money for the helmets. So I made them a deal just to get a helmet on every kid that had a bike at home. And then somebody else gave us too much. It deliberately gave us more than we asked for.
Gave us a
so.
donation.
Yeah, it's a donate. These are all donations. So anyway, we started with about 1,400. We bought about $650, $700 worth of helmets, new helmets. And then we sold, or excuse me, did about 40 helmets at ServFest, which netted us $200. And then we netted about 140 Monday night. So that comes out to, we have about $1,100 remaining. So, and to think all of us remember that when somebody gives us $500, it goes a long ways, because we buy helmets, and then we get money back, and we can buy more helmets. Slowly, we lose money. We're not good business people. When we're buying them for 8 and selling them for 5, and then you're giving some away in between that also. So we're in fair shape for any small items we need. So helmets, anyway, we're okay for a while.
Till spring.
Yeah, we bought 72 and 20. We bought 90 helmets, so. Yeah. Of course, the colors are all screwed up. You grab a red one, you don't have a clue of what you got. Small, medium, large.
Yeah. But we'll be getting some.
Well, we have to fit them anyway. It doesn't make any difference. And now I was going to bring up something else. Hirsch and I had talked about it. I have maybe it's just me. I don't think we're legally responsible, but we're morally responsible of giving someone a helmet that doesn't fit. And if you give a little kid, first grader, a helmet that's too big for him, you can stick your hand up around it.
Or too small.
Or too small, and it's sitting way up here, and he actually needs it. Well, at least we should try and get them the best helmet that they have. And so I have some qualms about giving somebody a helmet that I don't fit on, or one of us doesn't put on the kid's head to make sure it fits. And so that was just a comment. And somebody came up and said, well, I want, 3 helmets, here's $15. I go, well, what size? Well, I don't know. Well, if I give you, what's the point of giving them to? What? Call me tomorrow, I'll come out to your house and fit your kids, I'll do that. Or we'll go to the school and do it, or we'll go to I've come down
We've
here to
done
the
the-
police station and done it, just if that's more comfortable for them, which they should. I mean, that's all options. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that up. We should all be a little concerned about somebody just coming in and giving you money and want their helmets.
I had that experience this week, and they gave me the money and I gave them the helmets, but I really had the same feeling David had, that maybe I didn't do the right thing for the kids, so.
So I don't want to withhold anything from it. I'm not trying to take their money or not take it. I'm just saying that a different arrangement. And since I know Hirsch and I both will show up here or wherever, doesn't happen that often, no big deal. Like Wayne says, what else have I got to do? Gives me something to do. I can schedule my whole day around coming down to the police station and giving out one helmet. So, it's just a comment.
Well, like I said, I had that one incident this week, and I walked away thinking maybe I did the wrong thing. Not that, I got the money, but the person wanted 2 small helmets, and I gave the 2 small helmets, and David and I were talking, and I just have second thoughts, and I think his thoughts are where I'm heading towards too, is that if they ask for helmets, that we could fit them. I know some of the police officers know how to fit helmets if they want to do them. Just, we need the kid in front of us is kind of what, because
Or adult, I don't care who
Or,
it is.
you know.
Yeah. I fit
Yeah.
a lady down at Safeway one day.
well, you fitted that one gentleman at the
Yeah,
fair.
yeah. But I did a gal at Safeway once, because I talked her into getting a helmet because she rides her bike to Safeway all the time, so.
Here we go.
Good for you.
Okay,
Thank you. Tomorrow is the Scenic Bikeways Proponents Conference in Salem at the Conference Center. I know a couple of people from the Salem Bike Club will be attending that. We have the Scenic Bikeway going through our area, the Willamette Valley Scenic Bikeway, which is one of the longest ones. I was involved with, Surfest and in that, and it's, everybody knows we in fact, we last week got a picture of the ribbon cutting for the bike repair station. Handed out a few more of the donation requests because we were wanting to move on to the next one, and kind of go on record is that we were hoping for the next one to be in the West Keizer area. Specifically, we were thinking Keizer Rapids Park, but I, as chair, am open to other areas that if a neighborhood association wants to, that one partner or stuff, I'm more than willing to partner on that. I know that also at our last meeting, we were talking about having a map of where they are in Keizer, where, I couldn't.
It is?
There's 2 of them.
Oh, yeah, that's right, at the Keizer.
You can't forget your guys'.
That's right, that's right.
bus people.
I couldn't do it on Ride GPS. Mark it yet. I couldn't make a mark there, so there must be another program that you can insert.
You want the dot, one here and one at the transit center? I'm gonna make a note to see if one of our guys that does mapping can do that for us. So, but and I sent this out to everybody, I need somebody to tell me what you wanna say. You want cards, right? That you can hand out to tell people where they are?
A few of them. Again, it would be saying we have bike repair stations, and where they're located, and ours is the closest, the one here is closest to the Scenic Bikeway. And then there's one out at Keizer Station at the Transit Center.
Do you wanna have any that we put in maybe a plastic sleeve at each of the bike stations too? What the other one is?
I've been looking at, and I talked to Tim, because his office looks right out there. And he was saying, those are being used so much. He said he saw it, at least somebody out there every day while the weather's nice. And if you look at it, it's pretty scraped up. So I don't know where you would put a sleeve. Mike? Okay, it would be nice for people. I'm always worried that it's going to get torn and, yeah.
We may also want to include instructions on how to inflate a tire. I was here for another meeting, Parks meeting, and there were two little girls with their bikes, and they wanted to put air in their tires. And they were really close. They had the air pump on the tire, but they didn't know how to flip the little lever over to lock it onto the valve. So we might need, if we're doing
Mike, could you
a
check?
card or something, we might also want instructions on how to use the pump.
Instead of us doing it, Mike, could you check with the company that we bought them from and see if they have some? Because I'm sure that's been asked of them already.
Something to add to that fix, something that's on the side of it, that you can just put informational.
That's a good
Yeah.
idea.
Debbie, they can't hear you on the. Okay,
Yeah.
somebody text me and they're
Okay.
informing me
Oh,
that you just need to speak a little
Come.
closer and that they couldn't hear you.
Yep. So that would probably work if the company has a little sticker. I bet they do. And if there's a fee, we can figure out how to cover it. But it's getting scratched, but it's not vandalism, it's because of use. So I like it.
yeah, that's good.
Okay, I don't have much more, other than I want to go on record is that we do have openings on the Traffic Safety Bikeways Pedestrian Committee, and anybody interested can get their application in by November 8th. Mike, you're on.
All right, couple of things. We just finished up this year's resurfacing project for paving this week on Tuesday, just before the rains hit, so that's good to get those taken care of. There's a couple of manhole adjustments that still need to be done on a couple of streets in the Gupser neighborhood, but other than that, that's completed. And all I got other than that is with the rains and the leaves falling, our guys are out and about clearing catch basins, cleaning out catch basins, and preparing for the upcoming weather. So that's all I got.
Trevor.
So currently, we're hiring for multiple positions in the police department to include the traffic team. So right now, we have a temporary position. Andrew McCowan is in the unmarked Dodge Charger doing traffic-specific duties. That's a temporary position until Officer Babcock retires, which will be at the end of November. I think it's November 27th, I think is his last day. Then Andrew will go back to patrol. So we're hoping to get folks from other agencies, so lateral officers, to apply, and that'd be a much easier task than trying to start fresh with a new officer, and motor school happens only twice a year, so on and so forth. Labor Day is one of our most deadliest weekends, and Keizer was no exception this year. We actually had one fatal crash as a result of alcoholic beverage and speed. So with that being said, I'm also closing out my grants for the year, and next month I should have all the statistics for the 3 grants that we applied for and received, which was the seatbelt grant, the DUI grant, and also the speed grant this year. And I believe that's all I have.
Well, I'm going to get on a subject that we talked about in the past that we probably aren't going to solve tonight, but Lock Haven between McNary and Keizer Elementary. Now that I'm living over in that neck of the woods, I see what some of the parents that came to this committee have been seeing his kids walking across Lock Haven from the north side, and the questions of why there is a school zone down by Keizer Elementary, but not up by McNary. Yet there are a school zone signage over on Chamawa. It's a big greenish, I hate the color green, but says there's kids walking sign.
Pedestrian sign.
No, well, they're kids with books.
Oh, okay.
Want me to address it? Go ahead. That school zone sign on Shamal has been removed because of the lighting and the crosswalks that have been installed at Celtic Way. So it now is no different than where it is on Lock Haven. The reason, and we've discussed this a couple times in the past, the reason why we don't have that is because the students that go to McNary are much older. They're really, most of them are only walking as a freshman, partially through their sophomore year when they start to drive.
Which we have another problem on that.
Which we do, especially on Newburgh Drive. But just as a side note, Newburgh Drive has been very quiet this year, knock on wood. We really have been making an effort to put our speed trailers out there, traveling that area in the mornings. Our school resource officers are out there, so.
And I see that there was a work group or an open house on that subject at McNary here tonight, okay. So there'll be input and thoughts and sharing going on?
Correct.
Okay.
That's been in the works for about 2 months now.
But on that same topic, wouldn't it be better if it were safer for the kids to walk, then you'd have few of them driving? It's better for the health of the kids. It's better for the, safety for them. If we could make it safe enough that their parents felt comfortable for them to walk, you wouldn't have maybe quite the driving problem.
The main thing that I saw on Lock Haven is, and it's just that short window of time, especially in the morning, is them running across from the north side of Lock Haven onto the street behind the football stadium.
And when it's dark and rainy, you can't see them.
Right,
Right.
right.
But one of the issues, Hirsch, that I've seen too is between like 7:20 and 7:35, the traffic has stopped.
Because
Anyway.
of the kids going back and forth?
No, they can't get in.
Yeah,
They can't get in
it's-
Celtic Way. It's a backup. Everybody trying to get in both east and westbound.
Well, it's an issue that I didn't expect to solve tonight, but it's, parents have complained about it.
Working on it.
Yeah, but I didn't want to just not think that it isn't still in the back of our minds. There might be some sort of solution or something that we might suddenly think of, or with some of these grants in the future that might be available that we might be able to do, or the school district might be able to do. So with that, thank you very much, Trevor. Any other questions, thoughts, or items we should probably cover next month?
One thing I thought of was, it wasn't about this time last year that we applied for a grant from the BTA, and they're not called that anymore, but for bicycle repair station?
We
And
applied.
they turned it down,
that
and they
was
said,
the
try
first-
again.
Cycle Oregon.
Yeah, that's right. And I wonder if maybe we should try that again. I mean, we still got Chariots to
Well,
look to also, but they may not have, they may have other priorities. I mean, it wouldn't hurt to try, to apply, would it?
let's get the paperwork. I think we have to go back to city
Yeah,
council because it
we'd
is
have
is
to
a
get,
grant.
yeah, we'd have to get their approval. But
but-
I could look and see
Yeah.
when they open, when that opens up, and,
And then we could go back to schedule city council, and then, we already have a tentative place where we'd like to
Right.
put it.
right.
Matt Lawler mentioned the other night at the firehouse that if we could come up with X amount of money, the Parks Foundation could match it.
Oh, great, okay, well, that's,
So, you know, we would have to come up with about $800. And then they would match it for the rest, and then we'd work with Public Works again.
well, I'll check into that grant
Yeah.
then, because even if $800 doesn't seem like too much to ask for.
And again, David's probably going to do this, is to ask for the Salem Bike Club after the first of the year, a couple $100 for a helmet program. I've sat down with our budget person, so I know we have a little money, and it should go to promoting safety or,
I'm amazed at how little we've had to go out and drum up money. I've been on this committee since, I don't even remember now, 2000. No, it had to have been that. I didn't move over here to 2002, so right after that. But anyway, from one grant or a little bit of money or somebody'd give us something, or so we'd stumble on something else that the whole, you know, we still got $1,100 left.
Yeah.
When we started, my recall was we had 2,200. I mean, that was 10 years ago at least, so,
2008.
yeah.
yeah, that's a while.
And we just, the $5 really does, like you said, it's not the best business practice, but it does get a little buy-in, and we don't see a lot of our helmets on Craigslist and things like that.
See them in Goodwill or
No.
Salvation Army. So.
I had one more.
Wayne?
You were, last month or the month before, we were talking about bicycle-friendly community, and we currently have our rating of, refresh my memory,
Honorable mention.
honorable mention, and I believe you and Pat were working on redoing the application for next year and trying to get a higher rating.
Correct. It's been submitted.
Okay,
It
very
was, one of the things that, in contacting the League of American Bicyclists about the applications, I had contacted some people that had worked on the one for Silverton, and Silverton's was denied. And we got honorable mention. So I was confused because I felt, you know, Silverton's pretty good. I mean, you go downtown and a lot of their business is far more than ours, bike-friendly signs everywhere. So I was talking with them, and it's how you answer the yes/no questions, and Mike worked with us on it. There's yes, no, and stuff, and we kind of did the yes, no on the first go-around. This time, we added narratives, which the application didn't actually require, but we added and explained what this committee did. Because one of the things the director that I talked with back there, he said, well, a lot of cities have committees, but they don't do anything. And I said, well, we do a few things. And so he said, well, you need to explain what you do and how often. So we did a few of those things, but we probably won't know till the first of the year. I think we'll move up.
Oh, I just thought of something.
Okay.
Columbia Bank put in a bike rack.
Oh,
Well, I kept kidding him about, I mean, how many people bike to a bank? Everybody drives through there.
I do.
I
So
bike.
she finally put in a bike rack that has, accommodate a couple
You know,
bikes.
when First Tech
Small
gets-
one. It's sheltered, it's by the door, it's out of the rain.
Well, and in talking with the Travel Oregon, their bike-friendly business, a lot of businesses think that they have to be in the hospitality area, industry, to be bike-friendly. And no, it's any business. Now, your bank, they would say, well, do you have a bike rack? Well, they should get the bike-friendly status.
Plus they're on the scenic, the bikeway goes up, what is that, not Dearborn?
Remember,
Mammoth.
Yeah, they're right
That's where
there.
they are, and that's the bike, scenic
So,
bikeway goes right by their bank, so.
and the application process for a bike-friendly business under Travel Oregon is free. You just have to have a few requirements, like a bike rack for a business, or a place for bikes to go. It could be a coffee shop, a bank, a doctor's office, a veterinary clinic. So it doesn't have to be, so.
Yeah, okay.
With that, anything else? See you in November. Happy Halloween.
This is my